The gathering storm. As the galaxy braced for an inevitable conflict, a sinister force threatened to engulf the known universe. A coalition of ruthless alien species, led by the cold-blooded Exorcal, set their sights on Earth, believing humanity to be an easy conquest. The Exorcal, a technologically advanced and merciless race, had swept through countless worlds, leaving nothing but destruction in their wake. To them, Earth was just another planet to dominate. However, Earth was no ordinary world, and humans were no ordinary beings. Despite the fractured state of global politics and the ongoing skirmishes between nations, a sense of impending doom unified humanity in a way that had not been seen for centuries. Across the planet, leaders, scientists, and military strategists convened in secret meetings to form an unprecedented alliance. The urgency of the situation demanded swift action, and soon, plans were set in motion to defend Earth against the invaders. Yet it wasn't just the governments and armies preparing for the coming storm. In the remote corners of the world, where myths and legends still held sway, ancient powers began to stir. Forgotten by most, these hidden forces had been waiting for a moment just like this, a time when humanity would need them most. The Exorcal believed they were facing a divided and weakened species, but they had no idea what awaited them. For deep within the Earth, in a place untouched by time, an ancient order of warriors had been silently preparing for this very moment. They were the last remnants of a civilization thought to be lost to history, a society that had once ruled the Earth with wisdom and power beyond comprehension. The time had come for these hidden heroes to step into the light. As the Torcal fleet approached the outer edges of the solar system, the ancient order sent out a call that would awaken the few remaining descendants of this forgotten civilization. The world had forgotten their existence, but they had not forgotten the world. They were humanity's last hope, and they were ready to defend their home. The awakening of the ancients. In the deep jungles of South America, beneath the dense canopy of the Amazon rainforest, lay the hidden city of Arcadia. It was a place shrouded in mystery, protected by powerful forces that kept it invisible to the outside world. Here, the descendants of an ancient and advanced civilization, once known as the Atlanteans, had lived in secret for millennia. They were the guardians of knowledge and technology far beyond what the modern world could imagine. When the call went out, it resonated through the very fabric of Arcadia. The city's inhabitants, who had lived in peace for so long, knew that their time of seclusion had ended. Among them was Aurora, a warrior and leader who had been trained since birth to protect the secrets of her people. She stood at the heart of the city, beneath a towering obelisk that pulsed with energy, and listened as the ancient call echoed through her mind. Aurora knew what this meant. The Exorcal were coming, and they would stop at nothing to conquer Earth. But she also knew that the Atlanteans had the power to fight back. For centuries, they had preserved the knowledge and technology of their ancestors, waiting for the day when they would be needed again. That day had arrived. With a swift motion, Aurora activated the obelisk, sending a surge of energy throughout the city. The ancient machines that had been dormant for so long roared to life, and the people of Arcadia began their preparations. Armored suits, powered by forgotten technologies, were brought out of storage, and weapons capable of destroying entire fleets were ready for battle. Aurora donned her armor, feeling the familiar weight of responsibility settle upon her shoulders. She was ready to lead her people into the fight, but she knew that they could not do it alone. The modern world would have to be informed, and together, they would stand a chance against the Exorcal. The battle for unity. Across the globe, governments and military leaders received messages from the Arcadians, detailing the impending invasion and offering their assistance. At first, the world was skeptical. How could a group of people claiming to be descendants of a mythical civilization possibly help in the fight against the most powerful alien force the galaxy had ever seen? But skepticism quickly turned to hope as the Arcadians demonstrated their capabilities. They shared blueprints for advanced weaponry, provided energy sources that could power entire cities, and offered strategies that could turn the tide of battle. The world had no choice but to accept their help. In a matter of days, a global alliance was formed. The United Earth Defense Force, UEDF, was born, comprising soldiers, scientists, and strategists from every nation. They worked tirelessly, side by side with the Arcadians, to prepare for the coming war. The Arcadians' knowledge, combined with humanity's resilience and ingenuity, created a force that was stronger than anyone could have imagined. As the Torcal fleet drew closer, the UEDF fortified Earth's defenses. Massive space stations were armed with the most powerful weapons ever conceived, and ground forces were trained to use the advanced technology provided by the Arcadians. The world watched as their leaders, once divided by politics and ideology, stood together in unity, ready to defend their home. But the Arcadians knew that this battle would not be won by technology alone. They had seen what the Orcs were capable of, and they understood that this war would require something more, something that had been lost to the modern world, but still lived within the hearts of humanity. The rise of the forgotten warriors. In the final hours before the Orcal invasion, Aurora and her team of elite warriors, known as the Sentinels, made their way to the front lines. These were no ordinary soldiers. The Sentinels were the best of the best, trained in the ancient ways of the Atlanteans and equipped with the most advanced technology known to mankind. They were humanity's last line of defense, and they were ready to face the Orcs head-on. As the Sentinels prepared for battle, Aurora reflected on the journey that had brought her here. She thought of her ancestors, who had once ruled the earth with wisdom and compassion. They had foreseen this day, the day when their descendants would be called upon to protect the world from a threat beyond imagination. Aurora knew that she was not just fighting for her people, but for all of humanity. The Orcal fleet entered the solar system, and the battle began. The skies above Earth lit up with the fury of war, as the UEDF and the Arcadians fought to defend their home. The Sentinels, with their advanced armor and weapons, led the charge, cutting through the Orcal forces with precision and skill. But the Orcs were relentless. Wave after wave of their ships descended upon Earth, each one more powerful than the last. The UEDF and the Arcadians fought bravely, but it soon became clear that the Orcs had the upper hand. Earth's defenses were being overwhelmed, and the situation looked grim. It was then that Aurora realized what needed to be done. She activated a beacon that had been hidden deep within the earth, a beacon that would summon the last of the ancient Atlantean warriors, those who had been sealed away in stasis for thousands of years. They were the last hope, the only force that could turn the tide of battle. The last stand. As the ancient warriors awakened, they emerged from their hidden sanctuaries, their bodies infused with the power of the earth itself. These were no ordinary soldiers. They were the living embodiment of the Atlantean legacy, warriors who had fought in wars long before the modern world had even existed. Their arrival sent shockwaves through the UEDF and the Arcadian forces, renewing their hope and determination. Aurora led the ancient warriors into battle, their presence a beacon of hope in the darkness. The Orcs, who had believed themselves to be unstoppable, were now facing a force they could not comprehend. The ancient warriors moved with a grace and power that defied logic, their every strike devastating the enemy forces. The tide of battle began to turn. The UEDF and the Arcadians rallied behind the ancient warriors, pushing the Orcs back. For the first time, the invaders knew fear. They had come to conquer, but now they were fighting for their survival. But the battle was far from over. The Orc leader, a ruthless and cunning strategist, launched a final assault on Earth, deploying their most powerful weapon, a massive warship capable of destroying entire continents. The UEDF and the Arcadians scrambled to defend against this new threat, but they knew that they were outmatched. It was then that Aurora made the ultimate sacrifice. She and her team of Sentinels boarded the Orcal warship, fighting their way through the enemy forces to reach the ship's core. With time running out, Aurora activated the ship's self-destruct sequence, knowing that it was the only way to save Earth. The price of victory. As the Xorcal warship exploded in a blinding flash of light, the skies above Earth cleared. The remaining Xorcal forces, now leaderless and demoralized, began to retreat. The battle was over, and humanity had won, but the victory had come at a great cost. Aurora and the Sentinels had given their lives to save the world, and their sacrifice would never be forgotten. Across the globe, people mourned their loss, but they also celebrated their bravery. The ancient warriors, having fulfilled their duty, returned to their hidden sanctuaries, leaving the world once again in the hands of humanity. The UEDF and the Arcadians worked together to rebuild what had been lost. Cities were reconstructed, and new alliances were formed. The technology and knowledge shared by the Arcadians would shape the future of humanity, leading to a new era of peace and prosperity. But the world would never forget the battle that had been fought, nor the heroes who had emerged in humanity's darkest hour. Statues were erected in their honor, and their names became legends, passed down through generations. The Xorcal, now a broken and scattered force, would never again threaten Earth. They had learned a harsh lesson, that humanity was not to be underestimated, and that even in the face of impossible odds, they would fight to the last breath. A new dawn. Years passed, and the world continued to change. The unity that had been forged in the fires of war remained strong, and humanity entered a golden age of exploration and discovery. With the help of the Arcadians, new technologies were developed, and the secrets of the ancient Atlanteans were finally revealed. But the world had also learned the value of peace. The horrors of the Xorcal invasion had shown humanity the true cost of war, and they vowed never to let it happen again. The United Earth Defense Force became a symbol of global unity, its mission not only to protect the world, but to preserve the peace that had been so hard won. Aurora's legacy lived on, not just in the statues and stories, but in the hearts of the people. She had shown them what it meant to be a hero, to stand up for what was right, even in the face of certain death. Her name became synonymous with courage and sacrifice, and her memory inspired a new generation of leaders and warriors. As the sun rose on a new day, the world looked to the stars with hope and determination. The Xorcal had been defeated, but the universe was vast, and there were still many challenges to come. But humanity was ready, united, and stronger than ever before. For in the darkest hour, heroes had emerged, and they had shown the world what it meant to be truly human.